Here are 3 common sticking points I see with people working with letting go processes. David Hawkins, Sedona Method, etc., that I hope will help you with your own experience with this. So the first sticking point is conceptualizing letting go as some form of getting rid of. If I let go of the thought or feeling, it shouldn't be there anymore. And so a little trick in our brain is that we think I'm just letting go, but really we're subtly trying to push away or get rid of it. And that's in our culture too, right? Let go of, we tend to think of that as like, stop thinking about it, stop holding on to it. But if you think about the physical representation with your hands, right? To let go of something, it's quite literally your hands are grasping it, you're holding, trying to control, trying to keep it in your experience in some way. The opposite of that is to just relax that grip. Then it will do whatever it will do. But this motion of pushing away, assuming once I've let go, I need to get this out of my experience, that is another form of trying to control. So it is not letting it go. The other thing to be mindful of is if you're talking about energy or emotion, it's not like a solid object where if you let go of it, it's necessarily just going to drop to the ground, right? If you let go, you stop trying to manipulate an emotion or an energy. It might hang out for a second. It might take you to another emotion. It might do kind of weird or interesting things. So you're not so focused on what that emotion does as much as your internal position of, am I still trying to manipulate versus the almost physical, visceral experience of, I am taking my hands away from being the manipulator and am instead allowing this energy to do whatever it's doing, stay, go, spin out, burn out, etc. Second thing that can be challenging is looking for external results as a confirmation of whether or not you are letting go. So, has my life changed? Am I making more money? Are my relationships different? Now, we hear about those as potential side benefits of letting go, but letting go is an internal experience. So we want to be practicing tuning our attention internally and becoming more aware of the subtleties of what it is to be grasping versus relaxing that grip and allowing it to be. So the moment you're referencing the outside, you are, by definition, looking to the exterior rather than am I actually letting go, which is a sort of gesture, a movement internally with your own way of being with what you're experiencing. So it's not what is happening, but how am I relating to what is happening? That's what the letting go actually is. Again, whatever philosophies people have about how much your life should improve or change is one thing. But that's a real sticking point for people because a lot of this, I think, has gotten dovetailed, sometimes in some kind of weird ways with law of attraction and other things where it's like, hey, I've been trying to let go and I don't have all these external changes in my life. And so I think it's best to kind of put the philosophy aside and just focus on the internal experience because letting go, in my opinion, is about us feeling more at peace and at ease with life, doing whatever crazy things life does. And if the experience of life, as far as what actually happens, improves, great. But if we make letting go about that, we are essentially not letting go. We are trying to control life through a letting go technique, which is super ironic. Lastly, is I think of letting go, ironically saying I think of letting go as a visceral experience. So what can happen is we get too referencing of thought, we get too many ideas about it. Like, oh, am I thinking about it too much? Have I stopped thinking about it? Does that mean I've let go of it? Maybe there's more to do here, more work to do. Do I need to let go more, less, etc. Versus a very physical, almost physical at times, visceral experience of a way of being. So if I tell you to hold your breath and I'm holding my breath, like I don't have to think about, am I actually doing it? Am I just telling myself I'm holding my breath, but I'm not really? Well, I read this book about another teacher saying that the breath holding isn't really real. And you know you're doing it. There's a physical quality to it that your body can feel, and no book, no video could tell you otherwise because you are experiencing yourself doing it. I think as you become more and more accustomed and curious about what letting go actually feels like for you, the more you can lean into it as a self-referential feeling or experience. And then the bonus point, which I think is the most challenging thing for most of us, I'd be curious to hear your feedback, but can be for me for sure, is to then just keep returning to that. Just keeping it simple and, okay, like if I know how to stand on one leg, am I doing it or not? If I know what letting go feels like, am I doing it or not? And making a conscious effort to go back to that experience of letting go more and more until it becomes more automatic, more second nature. So hope that helps. If you have any questions or comments, just let me know. Thanks.